Alrighty, so this video is going to be on the casualer side. This is my front living room before I had started taking it apart to paint. Sorry I didn't show a real good before. The color that I am using is, I want to say Cafe Latte, and it is by Valspar. It is the paint and primer all in one. I really just loved this color. The color that was on the walls before was called Chaparral, and that was by Dunn Edwards. It was what the house came with, and I think over the years we probably bought a couple of gallons here and there and touched up, but it never really matched. And so there were blotchy spots throughout my house where it was uneven. And I just never was invested enough, I guess, to repaint all of the walls the Chaparral. So this is what I am living with. We all know what it feels like when you're renovating your house and you're just living with the mess within. And my OCD was just struggling, but I was trying to get it done. And so I just had to live with it. I was doing the hallway, the family room, the office, and the entryway all at the same time. There's Willow. Hi, Willow friend. And there's Winifred. So I will tell you, some of the decor that I had up already was decor that I had started to buy over the last couple years. And I got it in place where I wanted it to be, so I left the nails in there because I didn't want to have to replace them, remeasure. And so those are the spots that you're seeing that I kind of go around. I did, before I painted, go in and fill in all of the other holes with spackling, but look at that. There is nothing like a clean canvas there, and it just makes hanging up the decor so much easier when you leave the existing holes, if you still need them or are still going to use that decor. As I'm doing this, I'm seeing that once I got the walls painted, I really just hated the color of the furniture even more. It just made it look this reddish orange color that I don't feel like the Chaparral made it look. But you know what? My OCD needed me to clean up the mess and get it in place. These were cube organizers that I had in my office there that were white. I don't want them white anymore because they stand out just a bit much. So I'm going to spray paint them with some oil rubbed bronze. The carpet is from Lowe's. Found it on clearance. Loving it. But this is the furniture before. And this is when I decided I needed to paint it because the bedroom had been done. And so here I go painting it. You can see that I had started. I thought that I had pressed record before, and I didn't. This is my open office. It is off the front door. I had always wanted an office, but I didn't want to use up one of the rooms in my house. And this is technically supposed to be a formal dining room. That wasn't something I was ever gonna use. Never, ever. Didn't want to buy a second table. So I just decided to utilize it and make it an open office. But I knew that if I was going to do that, I needed to have furniture that was a bit on the nicer side, so it wasn't an eyesore when you first walked in the house. And so that is why this furniture was purchased, because it was such nice pieces. It is by Hooker, and it's furniture that just can't be moved. It was brought in by several people, and it probably took a small army to get it in place because of how heavy it is. And so that's one of the reasons I don't want to get rid of it, is because it is great furniture, but it needs to be updated because the color is just awful now. You know, it's funny how time changes your opinion, and I just kind of look at this and think, how did I ever like this color once upon a time? And I don't know that I ever really did. I think a lot of it I was along for the ride. And so now it's mine to do with what I want. And so, yeah, this piece took about, I want to say, a week to do. I did it in segments or in parts. I did take the hardware off, most of it. I wasn't going to remove the doors and whatnot. And I am sanding down some of the pieces because this piece is about 17 years old. There are some dings and dents in it that I wanted to smooth out, that I wanted to fill in and really just make this piece look as new as it could, bring it back to life again. So I did start off by sanding it where needed. And because this was a piece that I did use furniture polish on often and an oil, I am going in with some TSP and really cleaning this piece, taking out the oils and degreasing it and getting it ready to paint. I don't feel like this needs to be primered on top of the primer that's already in the paint that I'll be using to paint this furniture. In my opinion, just from the experience that I've gained from doing my cabinets and the couple pieces of furniture that I did before this, when working with TSP and cleaning whatever surface it is that you're going to paint, you do want to use the TSP to clean, then you do want to wipe it off, kind of rinse it off. Sometimes the wood gets a little wet or has moisture, and so I like to wait a full day to really let it dry out before I go in and start painting, just to ensure better adhesion of the paint. And so yeah, I am actually gonna use towels for this on the floor. I don't usually use drop cloths, but this carpet is new, and I had a couple friends come over and move the desk to put it, so I can't really move the carpet, but Winnie is here just kind of making sure everything is great. Look at her. It had just rained, so her coat looks kind of haggard, but yep, she wants to be right where I am, but I'm gonna kick her out because I don't want this brown paint on her. Now, because there are a lot of flat surfaces on this unit, I am going to roll it on those flat surfaces just to get away from having any brush strokes. I want to say it took me about 2.5 weeks to paint all of the other furniture in my house outside of my bedroom furniture with this paint. I had my bedroom furniture, I had paid a painter to come and do that. He kind of showed me how to do it. And so, yeah, I decided I wasn't going to pay for the rest of the furniture because after I got my bedroom done, I really just fought trying to paint this furniture or wanting to, but I just couldn't resist anymore and decided that I needed to because I just wasn't happy with the furniture. And so, yeah, it did take me about 2.5 weeks to do, but it was something that I just kind of woke up and would do one piece a day, so I still had some of my day to get other stuff done. So here is my desk before. I know I'm kind of all over the place with the pieces that I'm showing you, and here it is after. I wasn't super happy with the desk. I felt like it looked plastic because it was once upon a time that reddish wood with a really dark brown leather here on top. And so I felt like it needed dimension. It just was missing something. And so with this furniture, I went ahead and went back to Dunn Edwards. No, I didn't. No, I did not. I actually just added chalk paint, black chalk paint, to the formula that I already had to darken it up because this paint was already the 25% darker. The formula was that Dunn Edwards mixed for me, and they wouldn't go any darker than that for me. And so I did. I went in with some black chalk paint because I didn't want a shiny finish. Added that to the 25% darker espresso macchiato that I'm using because I wanted the leather to be darker. And so I'm not saying that this is something that you should do because, truth be told, I ended up redoing the top of this desk 3 separate times because I didn't like the way the paint dried. The chalky chalk paint finish that was added with the furniture paint, it could have been just because I didn't mix it well enough, or it could have been just because it was 2 different formulas. But I ended up getting it down. I added a polyurethane matte sealer to the paint, and then that ended up giving me the nice finish that I wanted. But before that, it was drying very blotchy. Some parts looked shiny, some parts looked matte and chalky and dry. And so I ended up adding some water to the paint, adding the polyurethane to that paint, taking it over to Lowe's, asking them to mix it. They shook it up real good for me. And then I ended up getting the outcome that I wanted. And so I don't know that it was entirely that I added the chalk paint. I think I just wasn't mixing it well enough. But all in all, you know what? Try again. I'm not afraid to mess up and make mistakes, because just about anything can be fixed. And because I like the way the contrast was between the dark top and the lighter top of the desk, I decided to take a sponge dabber and go in and darken up all of those raised framed areas on the desk. And as I was doing it, I could just see that it was then adding the dimension that this desk needed, so it didn't look plastic, all being one color. And with that, I was happy with the outcome. And I'm actually working on doing that to the hutch as well, and the other pieces of the furniture. They're not completely done, but those are going to be just a work in progress when I have nothing better to do and I feel like getting my sponge dabber out and adding a bit of detail. And here is the desk. I am loving the detail, darkened up. This is a picture of the desk before I fixed it. You can see just how blotchy the top looked. Here is the hutch as I did it. Such a huge difference. And moving on, I purchased this piece to replace the cube organizer because I just didn't like it, but the top didn't match. So it was the right price, just the wrong color on top. So I'm going to give it a good sanding, and I'm going to use some of that furniture paint and just paint the top of it. That hutch in back of me is the same hutch that I bought for my bedroom that I actually didn't put the doors on. And this hutch in back of me actually has the Lego sets that Ray completed, and I have them stored and displayed in there. And so that way I'm just not looking at Legos all the time, but I can open up the door and have a look at some of the pieces that Ray did. And so yeah, here is me just adding more of that furniture paint. I am telling you, when you see or find a piece that you really like and it's the right price and it'll go with your decor style, don't be afraid to customize it and make it your own. My word, can I tell you how happy I was to have these pieces done? I felt like this was a task that was never ending, but look at how amazing this furniture turned out. The desk, it was not fixed yet on the top there. I want to say that was like attempt number 2, where I had tried to put the polyurethane over the top, and it in turn turned it white and left white bubbles. And so I did end up covering the desk with a cover and sanding it down and repainting the top of it. Yeah, I totally did. I wish I would have showed it. I kind of wish I would. I'm glad I didn't, because the frustration was real with that. But third time was a charm, and I got it right. And so yeah, just come hang out with me as I decorate. I also ended up changing the light bulb in the lamp because it was like an LED sunlight or daylight color, and I really should have gone with a soft white. And so later on you'll see that I actually switched that out because there was just this blue undertone to it that was driving me bonkers. And so yeah, the desk here is still not fixed, but you will see at the end that I ended up getting the outcome that I wanted. Most of the pieces that I'm putting in this desk are pieces that I already had, that I just moved from one area of the house to the other because I really just wanted to make this desk my own and make it a piece that I really enjoyed looking at. The hands there up at the top, those are Ray and I's hands. We actually truth be told, had those done the day that he passed. We did those. Yeah, we had somebody run over to Hobby Lobby and get us a cast kit, and Ray and I put our hand in there, and I am so glad I did it. I haven't been able to sand it or file it down. It is full of imperfections, but I'm so afraid of ruining it, so I have just left it as imperfect as it is, and it's just gonna be perfect. And I'm so glad I have that piece, because it just can bring tears to my eyes right now just saying it. And here we have it. My entryway, front office, and front living room. Have I told you that I love this house in a way that I've never loved it before? It screams everything that feels like home to me. The warmth, the safety, the coziness. It screams everything that the girls and I love. Making this our home instead of what used to be the family home has probably been one of the most healing journeys that I've been on, that the girls and I have been on. It feels good. It's taking it day by day, step by step, sometimes minute by minute, but it's called healing. And when you force yourself to get up and go and continue to go on with whatever is thrown your way, there's a feeling of achievement in the end, and something to be said about the strength that you have that maybe you didn't know you had. And that is something I'm learning that I have. I know that Ray doesn't want us to be sad. I love you, son. Boy, I'm so glad I get to hold that hand forever. I know he doesn't want us to be sad, but I also know he knows we miss him, and we're trying to relearn how to live life without him. And we're doing it. Doesn't mean we like it, but we're doing it, and we're doing it to honor Ray. So on a different note, I ended up keeping one of the two cube organizers, ended up painting it the same color as the furniture after I spray painted it, but I'm keeping it because I groomed the dogs, and so their blow dryer, their grooming kit, and all of the things that I use to groom them, I'm keeping it in. Hopefully I'll find a place in the shed when I clean out the shed. Right now it has all of Ray's stuff in it. So for now, it's just gonna stay there because every couple weeks I groom the dogs. In this entertainment center, I did put some fabric because I just hate looking at anything that's in there. Doesn't need to be seen, so why not make it a accent piece? These lamps, Wayfair. Oh my goodness, obsessed with them. And this here is the shelf. Picked this up at Hobby Lobby just because I absolutely loved it, and I knew it was going to be perfect to display all of Ray's things on. I didn't want everything throughout the entire house. I kind of wanted to consolidate it into one area, and I was able to do that on this shelf. They had his badge encased for me, and there's Ray. Hi Ray, hi son. And this was all of his work things and everything to honor him. Duty, honor, and courage. That was Ray. Wow, I just love the look and the feel of this house now, of our house now. Let's take a look at some before and afters. Tell me what you think. You'll want to stay tuned for more of this content as I have a few more rooms left to do, and I will be doing some window tinting. Yep, tinting the windows of my house. So stay tuned.